we got to start off with a little bit of bad news here. We usually like to have a lot of fun here, but huge news. Saquon Barkley is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, according to our own Ian Rappaport. Who are the guys we're picking up on the waiver wire?
Wayne Gallman is obviously the first one that pops to mind. I think he's immediately on the low-end RB2 radar. With Washington, I think I like Rex Burkhead a little bit too.
Yeah, I think I like Rex Burkhead a little more than Wayne Gallman. I know he walks into that opportunity that Saquon left, but I feel like he played 38 snaps and he touched the ball 5 times. That sort of says something to me about how the Giants feel about him.
Yeah, pretty much. Rex Burkhead?
You don't have to ask me that.
No, I do.
I mean, Rex Burkhead, come on. If you have the choice.
Anything Patriots related.
Anything Patriots is going to get you points.
Anything Patriots related is an auto yes for
that
him.
is
Sony Michel's online.
I know. I had him on my team. We'll get to that as well, too. But
we'll get to that in a little bit of a moment. As a matter of fact, let's check out the league scoreboard right now and see how everybody is doing this week. And, of course, as you see right there, our own Kane Brown is leading Charles Melton. He could be getting off the schneid.
Team AEW opened a can of whoop ass.
That was
yes.
I think it goes back to Desi Banks dropping Albert Wilson.
Yes,
that's the kind of thing.
That's why he's getting doubled up right now.
That is exactly what's happening.
Desi lost his karma after he dropped Wilson.
But let's talk about the big matchup of the weekend, and that was your commissioner, the rank and file, coming in hot. Shut up. Coming in hot against the fantasy footballers.
Someone has to defend our honor here on this.
Oh, yeah. Seriously. You know what? This is the thing. This is exactly what had happened to this league. You know what? I didn't want to have to get involved. I was happy to just sit on the sidelines and allow this thing to just kind of play out the way that it was. But then you had to go and drop the ball. And some point you have to go in and you got to do things on your own. You got to rely on yourself. And so you know what? I'm sitting here wearing this stupid T-shirt. This is the last week I'll ever be wearing this T-shirt. Thanks in no small part to Mike Evans and Cooper Kupp, my guys.
You didn't even need Calvin Ridley.
That's the thing. I spotted them. I spotted them at Calvin Ridley. It was right. You know what, though? We were sitting there because we do the show. We do the update at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to get slapped by 3 dudes. Like that was gonna be my life. And then we sat there, we did, right? And we went to go out and we went to go do the fantasy football stories.
Right.
You know, you can check out on our all new NFL app, our all new NFL fantasy app, which you should have downloaded by now. And we were doing it, I'm like, oh, Mike Evans got into the end zone. I'm like, okay, this is going pretty well. And then I'm like, okay, there's 2. I'm like, okay, now I'm like, as long as I can be somewhat even heading into the nightcap when I have Cooper Kupp going up against Robert Woods, I'm like, okay, then I could probably, kind of hang close, maybe take the victory. And then, Jameis Winston's like, you know what, I know you guys were super worried that I was forgetting about Mike Evans. I'll give him 3 touchdowns on the afternoon. And then Cooper Kupp's out there dominating.
Yeah, I mean, he looked great. Look, that was kind of the best thing the Rams had going was getting the ball to Cooper Kupp and Brandon Cooks, by the way. Brandon Cooks had a very good night last night.
Should anybody be worried about Robert Woods, or was this just like a one-game blip?
I think it's a one-game type of thing. I think Cooper Kupp is clearly Jared Goff's number 1 target right now, though. We've seen it in the red zone. We talked about it a few weeks ago when we were talking about players to trade for. Cooper Kupp's red zone role is real, and this is something that's, it's going to be constant in this offense going forward.
Yeah, let's pat ourselves on the back a little bit. We actually went out there and nailed some solid advice. I know it's not all poop hats and mugs and confetti and disco balls.
Smashed cakes.
Smashed
These
cakes.
shirts kind of smell, too.
Legitimate.
Got the new T-shirt smell on them.
Yeah.
But there's another huge matchup that is going on. It is still, because I've actually already defeated the fantasy footballers.
Drama.
This one is, oh my gosh. This is a close one. 2 big players going tonight. David Montgomery and the Chicago Bears, and Ricky Hollywood is currently nursing a 6-point lead.
I am ahead.
We love this.
Barely.
We're rooting. What do you got to do to win?
Okay, so I'm only 6 points ahead, and I have the Bears defense. Marcus has David Montgomery, but I'm getting kind of nervous, so I'm going to call my mom. Do you guys
Go ahead.
Really?
Oh, please.
Yeah, Mom.
Really?
Need your phone.
This is what we're doing?
No, actually,
she's here.
My mom's here. Can you bring me?
Really?
this?
So this is it. So you
Is
you have your mom fight your battles for you, Ricky?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
really?
yeah.
This is what we're doing now?
No, Mom, I'm on TV. Get out of here. Thank you. Okay,
Really? Really?
so
I'm gonna lose. I can't lose to her. Really?
Okay, listen.
After that?
So the Bears D is averaging 3.5 sacks per game. Okay?
Okay.
So I have the D, you don't. Ooh. Okay. The Bears are
Are
allowing
we not doing phrasing anymore?
only one offensive touchdown. So you think that one offensive TD is going to be Montgomery? I don't.
Speaking
okay.
of offensive.
Wait, why?
Nothing.
That I don't think
please
he's
go.
going.
Please
Listen,
go.
Please
you can't
continue.
argue cold hard facts, you guys.
These are facts.
Okay. Also, I'll skip some of these other ones. It might be a little too over your guys' heads. But Montgomery has played only 40% of the snaps this season for the other Bears running backs. So therefore, that says blank for you, loser.
Wow.
Very well done. She's bringing in props.
You really
Ricky.
spent all afternoon doing this, huh? Didn't you? Like this.
Yeah,
is
it's weird when somebody actually prepares for the show, isn't it?
It is weird. Like, why would you bother to do that? I have no idea.
Somebody cares.
I know. Now I'm going to sit here and like give her facts like David Montgomery is going to get the ball a lot because Mitch Trubisky is not a very good quarterback.
Whoa.
Hold it.
And the Washington defense, well, they're not good at defense. So David Montgomery's good. Look, David Montgomery has to get the ball more because that's how they were more effective last week against the Denver Broncos. And so unless Matt Nagy somehow has amnesia and goes back to what he did in week 1, which was not very effective at all,
No.
there's going to be a
Didn't
lot of
like
David
that.
Montgomery in this
Okay,
game.
but what about the Bears defense against
I mean, they'll be
Washington?
fine, but
Case
they-
Keenum,
but-
it's gonna be crazy.
All I need, I feel like if I can get 15 points
Yeah.
out of David Montgomery, then I
You
should
think
be
you're
okay.
going to get
You're in a
Alright.
tough spot, Ricky. You're in a tough spot. If
You know
Montgomery,
who else is in a tough spot? You.
Yeah,
You've
it's-
got a matchup going against our
No
own
kidding.
Taylor Bisciotti. And let's
Yeah.
see, who is
Oh,
you're
boy.
leading? Oh my gosh, is this the first time you've actually led on a Monday?
barely.
Yeah, but
Wow,
it's
congratulations.
still gross. I mean, my team has just been an
Would you
abject disaster.
It is gross.
It
And
is-
she's got Allen Robinson
Yeah.
in a PPR
Hey, at
league.
least you had the Seahawks D.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, the
It's-
Ravens did not. Why did she start the Ravens? She should lose just for that alone.
You know, I'm not sure why she did, but I'm glad she did. But it's probably not going to end up mattering unless Allen Robinson has some bad pregame food or something.
She also dropped Will Dissly for Gerald Everett. We got a brand new segment that we wanted to debut today called "Yeah, that dude peaked in high school," and we want to talk about some guys who were like totally cool, like Trip McNeely, who was like super sick in high school, and now he comes back to the parties and he just hangs out. Do we have a picture of the guy I want to talk about? Because there's a guy who's like a total like. This guy was the stuff in high school and all. Yeah, look at this guy. You know him.
He looks,
like,
Wow.
he looks
he
kind
was
of
super-
familiar.
Any depictions to like actual people is
that
purely
Graham?
purely coincidental.
It's like
I don't have dye hanging in front
green
of my
and gold wearing
rear
number
view.
12. That seems familiar.
I don't listen again, man. That's just perfectly unintentional. Just like this is just a guy you just think of, but this is the thing.
He was a good neighbor once.
But that's the thing. What is going on with Aaron Rodgers? Because what we've seen out of him so far, even though the Packers are 3-0, and congratulations to you on that stupid start. But the thing is, he hasn't been great as a fantasy quarterback. What's wrong, Graham? Tell me.
Matt Nagy. I mean, or not Matt Nagy. I'm sorry, Matt LaFleur. They're
you.
running this run-based offense around Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones. Aaron Rodgers isn't throwing as near as much last year. Eric, I'm sorry to get in the numbers for you here. But
Please do
37 and a half pass attempts last season. He has not eclipsed 32 this year. The volume's not there, guys.
Yeah, that dude, that just seems like that dude peaked in high school. Talking about you, Aaron Rodgers. Thank you for handling that. What about you, Marcus?
I think I was talking about Sonny Michel, who like he seems to have.
Are you sure?
I think I am. I am. See, I know
Oh,
what
my
I'm doing.
bad.
I prepare for this show. Yeah, Sonny Michel.
That's a switch.
It is a switch. It's the first time. First time for everything. He averaged what? 1.2 yards per carry. That's
Ooh.
no 1.9. I'm sorry. I shortchanged him. 1.9 yards per carry. Either way, it was ungood what happened there. And part of it is that he's just not making people miss. I think in 45 rush attempts this year, he has forced one missed tackle. One. So I forced one fewer missed tackle this
Would you
year.
stop?
Am I wrong?
Yeah, but on the
No.
flip side, he has 8 rushing touchdowns since the start of the 2018 playoffs, which is the most in the NFL.
That didn't help
Oh,
me.
boom.
That didn't help a whole lot of people this week.
Look at the numbers.
Didn't help you either.
I had him, and I still might beat you.
Might.
Oh,
Might.
dang.
Might. We'll see. We'll
Might.
see. We'll see.
You know what? MJD raised an interesting point on NFL Fantasy Live where he said that this Sonny Michel is probably going to be more effective in November and December when the Patriots really start running the ball a little bit more. So anybody who's super discouraged about this, hang on, better days are coming. But Ricky, who's your player?
You know, Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz?
I know.
That
Why?
hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, no laughter from a
I
kid
know.
down
Like,
there.
isn't
Like,
this supposed to be
really?
funny? Like,
That
funny
joke
shit.
bombed.
Everybody
Really?
was like so upset about. It's like, okay, like,
That was
jeez.
palpable how bad that joke
Please
bombed.
clap.
Yeah,
Like-
no, just
clap.
go ahead.
Sorry,
I'm
Not
done.
even a courtesy chuckle.
No, I mean that's ridiculous. Zach Ertz, he's being
Justin
picked.
laughs at everything. He didn't laugh at that.
I know Justin didn't even laugh. Like he was like he couldn't
He's
even
laughing
download
now.
a laugh track fast enough to like give me a little bit of credit here. Okay, Zach Ertz, he's the we draft in almost every league. He was drafted as one of the top 3 tight ends.
Absolutely.
And he's totally not living up to standards. Him and George Kittle. I mean, the
Yeah.
whole tight end.
Yeah.
Every tight end that I've seen.
Meanwhile,
you.
the fantasy footballers are running around here with
Darren
Darren
Waller.
They're killing all
that's
of us
the
with
thing.
Darren Waller, who
Darren
they got
Waller.
for free. They got for free. We spent, what, second? I spent a third-round pick on Kittle. You got second, Ertz?
I did second with
Yeah.
Ertz.
I
Yeah,
might
I'm
have
a
spent a
chump.
first-round pick on Travis Kelce, which I'm feeling pretty
Well, that's
sick about
definitely
right
worked
now.
out. That's definitely worked out.
I'm going to be 2-1, or I am 2-1, so. Anyways, what about you?
Yeah, I'm 0-3 because of
He's your
Stephon
guy
Diggs.
that dude peaked in high school.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs definitely peaked in high school. He peaked last year in that last offense. Look, I mean, the Vikings are basically just not throwing the ball. They've kind of centered their offense around Dalvin Cook and Alex Madison. They're just running the ball a ton. Since Kevin Stefanski took over as their offensive coordinator 6 games ago, that dates back to Week 15 last year, Stephon Diggs hasn't seen more than 8 targets in a game, and he was averaging over 10 in his first 13 last year.
I mean, a
It's
big
over.
It's tough.
part of
It's tough for Diggs.
one, they aren't throwing the ball a lot, but the other part of it, when they do, I mean, Kirk
don't.
Cousins likes throwing seam routes, and that tends to be where Adam Thielen hangs out more than Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs is primarily on the outside, and Thielen plays in the slot. So.
And they don't want Kirk Cousins to throw the ball for obvious reasons, because that dude peaked in high school. So let's take a look at our celebrity division to see how some of the teams are doing in our first matchup. FaZe Clan
Their
going up
first
against
loss,
the
right?
Oracle.
Candace is 3-0 now, right?
She's
Yes.
about to be, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a final.
That's a final.
That
Wow.
one's in the books.
Early, it looked like FaZe Clan was going to win this one early, and Candace with a strong comeback because Brandon Cooks had a lot to do with it.
FaZe Clan, they have Damian Williams, so they're missing their RB2, but yeah.
Right.
Pretty,
And Vance McDonald kind of hurt them as well. And there's our leaders of the
goodness.
week. Team AEW, the leaders in
They-
the clubhouse.
Wilson, Kamara, and Ingram.
Like, that's
And Cooper.
pretty incredible.
Sometimes you just walk into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, I
That's what
saw.
happened
When,
there.
I was sitting next to them when they drafted Mark Ingram, and I was so morose. I'm like, dang it, that's really who I wanted to get. That was somebody I'd been pumping up in the offseason as one of the potential league winners for this season, and great pick by them. And their running backs are stacked.
Yep.
And here it is. Kane Brown looks like he's going to get his first win of the season.
He needed that.
Charles Melton does not have anybody going. Got a bagel from the Eagles defense. And Kane Brown been busy working the waiver wire. Jason Witten is not somebody you would have drafted. He got Damian Robinson. He picked up the Packers defense, which was a smooth move. And yeah, he's looking pretty good.
He'd been close the first couple of weeks. He deserves this win. Good
He
for
had
him.
a couple of losses, like a couple of close losses, like early in the season. So it's good to see him get off the schneid. He's going to be in LA too at the Staples Center here on October 18th. Hopefully, we'll get out to see him. Let's talk about Nelson Aguilar, who was in the news for something a little bit different. Do we have sound on this, by the way? Can we actually? Let's check it out.
By that time, the ladder truck was pulling up, and ironically, one of my old coworkers took the ladder off the truck, raised it up, and was assisting people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. But we was catching them, unlike Aguilar and his mishaps. I like to put that out there.
He deadpanned the camera 3 times. Three times.
They're
He
throwing
stopped.
babies out the window.
He did the Jim Halpert where he looked just dead at the camera
Man,
and just sold it.
man, the only person burned by that fire was Nelson Aguilar.
Oh,
wow.
jeez.
Wow.